Hi, everyone. Welcome to Mama Wears Athleisure. I am your host, Mariela de Santiago, a first time mom. We focus on all things mom with tips to help make life easier and more organized for all you mamas out there. Hey, everyone. This is Mariela, your host, and I am here with Lina from the New Mamas podcast. So, we are going to do a mom talk episode today that just kind of goes in to talk about what Kristin Cavallari is getting all of this beef for dating younger, which, by the way, I absolutely love that she is dating younger.
Yes. Hello, everybody. It's Lina here. I'm so excited to talk about this. I love Kristen so much. Like back from the Laguna Beach days. Did you watch?
I did watch a few episodes, maybe all of the seasons. I can't remember.
Yeah, I watched and then I also was like a Hills fanatic, like love the Hills, like love the city. And then they had like the Hills reboot where Kristen came in. Remember, it was like the BITCH is back. Do you remember that at
I
all?
do.
Yeah.
Yes. I used to watch The Hills. It's pretty crazy because, yeah, she has this like bad rap kind of being like the mean girl. And
The bad girl. I think it's just because
yeah,
she's like very like she's a spitfire. She has personality. She doesn't care about like being like I guess correct or politically. I don't know. She just like is she doesn't overthink things, I think. I think she just does.
yeah. I love how she's very much like, you know what, whatever. This is what I want to do. This is how I'm going to roll. You can either love it or hate it. And I
Yes.
really don't care. And you know what? Good for her because she's making millions by not caring.
And so she's a mom. The other thing I felt connected to her by is I don't know if you followed her relationship with Jay Cutler. I followed it like off and on. I know that
I
they had like
didn't.
okay, so I know that they had a tumultuous relationship. She never like outwardly came out and said he was abusive, but on her podcast, she has alluded to the fact that he was a narcissist, that he was emotionally abusive, that he put down her business, Uncommon James, the jewelry company that she started. So and she had three kids with him. So I felt connected to her journey just in terms of like being a mom and like going through it. Not that I've been through, I haven't been through it, but I just meant, I guess, more so like when you see someone you grew up with, like we grew up with Kristen and Lauren and all those girls from the Hills and
Yeah,
Laguna.
from high school, right? Like high
Yeah,
school onward, and then seeing her like do a business as a mom.
as a mom.
And
And go
yeah,
through a marriage and a relationship and a divorce. Like, I don't know. I've had friends that have gotten divorced. Like, have you had friends?
I have, yeah, friends or family that have gone through all of that. So kind of seen it,
Yeah.
but it does not seem like easy, fun,
No.
or something I would wish upon anyone, especially with kids, right? I tried to finish listening to that episode that you messaged me.
Yeah.
Of course, couldn't get through it even at my mom's speed. But she did mention that she has full custody of all three kids and she's got her mom there to help her. But
Yeah.
like, gosh, I have a hard time with one kid and I share him with my husband when he's
Yeah.
not working.
Right. No, exactly. Like, yeah, I noticed that too, that now she has full custody. That wasn't always the case. So it's always like reading between the lines, like what's going on there. But exactly, like seeing someone of that caliber who has a lot more resources financially, like to hire help and stuff, still struggle, like it really does like humanize the experience. Like it comes for every like the human experience comes for us all. Like there is no one that's exempt from that. Which is why I think she deserves this beautiful relationship she has with Montana.
Yeah, and he's what? Is it 10 years younger? He's 24. Is she 35, 36? She's in her mid 30s.
I think she's like upper like 37, 38. I think she's like upper 30s.
Well,
I
you know what?
think.
Good
Hold on, let me
for her.
Google it. This is
I
important.
I love the fact that she's dating younger and that she's totally like, I don't give a fuck because she shouldn't. Like, I feel like if the roles were reversed, that then it would still always be the girl getting the bad rap. Like, oh, she's younger than him. She's a gold digger. Why isn't it why isn't he getting any like negative attention? Like, oh my gosh, look at him date a cougar. He must be a gold digger. No, it's all on her, at least from what I've seen. It's crazy to me.
So she is 37 years old. And
Okay.
yes, exactly. So there have been so many celebrities. Like Leonardo DiCaprio is apparently a repeat offender of like dating women that are like really
18.
young. Like that, I think, okay. Okay. And then like Bradley Cooper is dating Gigi Hadid. Like I think there's a similar like age gap there. Is he in his 40s? I don't know.
I think
But
so.
and then
George
George
Clooney.
Clooney. Yep.
And
Exactly. But not a
there
big
was
deal.
a celebrity that just became a dad, and he's like in his 70s. I can't remember what his name is, but
Robert De
it's
Niro.
yes, yes, is that it?
Yes, like
Clear.
come on. And it's like not that it's like not that scandalous. Like is it like it's
Because they're
shocking,
guys. That's
but
why I
yeah.
feel like it's because they're men that it's not that big of a deal. But yes, as soon as it's the woman that's the older one, or she's super young, or she's even having kids after 40, 45, like there's always this bad stigma attached to the woman. Like we are just we always get it so hard.
Yeah, women can't win in the biz. I feel like there's all we do or we don't. We always get like slammed for it. So that's why we should just do it. Do do you because you're always going to get heat for whatever decision you make. It's like the whole working mom, stay-at-home mom like thing. It's like you're a working mom, you're seen as this. If you're a stay-at-home mom, you're seen as that. It's like nobody wins here. It sucks.
Yeah. And then what
Dumb.
about the moms that do it both? Like you right now, look at you. You are doing this while you mom, right?
Yes. Well, I'm on maternity leave still. So I'm good, but yeah. But back to Kristen and age gaps. So when you were dating, how like how young did you go? Would you date someone that's younger? Like walk me through your thoughts.
So when I was like in my early 20s or so, I definitely dated or aimed to go a little bit older
Yeah.
just because I feel like men mature a lot slower than women. And then
Yeah.
once I was, but then this is where it's funny. When I was in my late 20s, I was dating significantly younger, like 6 years younger, and I was in a long-term relationship with that. So
Cool. You have experience.
yeah, and
Kind
that's
of.
fine. Like I feel like if you guys mesh well and you have like a good connection, like that's fine. And my husband now is a year older than me, maybe not quite a year, but I don't really think that age matters. I think it kind of depends on that place in life that you are. He's definitely an old soul, so I feel like he's much older than 39. So I'm like, I feel like I'm dating older or married to older.
Because he's an old soul. Yeah, I agree. I think there's people who are older souls and some people who are younger souls. Like, I feel like I definitely meet people across the board. Like, there's this gal that goes to church with me and started coming to my Bible study, and she's only 23, 22. She's young, but gosh, does it feel like I'm talking to like a, a gal my age, like 35. Like, she is an old soul. It's very interesting.
What about you? What was your like, did you have a cutoff where you like, I definitely am not gonna date younger?
I did. So, okay. New Year's, it was New Year's one year. I was single and I just needed a New Year's kiss. And I just like looked around at the bar to someone who looked single. And like when the clock struck midnight, I just pulled this guy who I think was relatively cute. I don't know. I was kind of drunk and I made out with him. Okay. Made out with him. Like he was my New Year's kiss. And then we exchanged like Snapchats. This was like Snapchat era. And then I went about my business. 2 weeks later, he like Snapchats me and he's like, I can't stop thinking about our New Year's kiss. Now, I don't know anything about him. He was literally just some random dude. I could have gotten some sort of disease. I can't believe I did that. Like, who does that? Like, that clearly,
Every 20-year-old.
yeah, but like, I think like after COVID, I feel like if COVID happened when I was young, I don't know if I'd be like going out making, I don't know, germs hit different. now. Saliva hits different. But so long story short, I was like 25 years old, 20 on the cusp of being 26. And I think he was, no, I was 26. I remember this because he was 24. And I remember thinking, so eventually we met up and he was like heart eyes, like he thought he had met the love of his life, like this rom-com of she pulled me on New Year's, like, the story in his head. And when I learned that he was 24, I like immediately X'd him out of my brain. Like, I don't know what happened. He was a nice guy and everything. I was just like you're done. And then he at the end of the night, I think he could feel my vibes that I was like not giving off like interested vibes. And then at the end of the night, the kicker, he was like, "Can you drive me home to my mom's house?"
Oh my gosh.
So I was
You're
really
like, and that is like cherry on top. We will not be seeing each other again.
Yeah, I think I was looking for someone that was more mature. And I remember when John and I, my current husband, we matched on Tinder. I saw that he was my age. And I remember being like, ugh, because I really wanted to date older to have someone that was more mature and all that stuff. But it didn't matter because John is great and really mature. So it's just funny how like the age thing is like psychological.
It is. Yeah. There was something on the tip of my tongue and now I just spaced it. This is mom brain. I say this all the time. Mom brain.
Mom brain. I guess, well, think about it. The other point I wanted to make with Kristin is like people are giving her such crap, but also she can date. What if like she's dating a 24-year-old? She has the kids already. She's already been married. She's had the experience of being married, having a wedding, having kids. Like, what if she just wants someone to like do life with? Like, and maybe this is like the perfect person right now because he's not looking for any commitments or any like kids or weddings or anything soon. So that was like my thought process when I saw that news come out.
Yeah. Like if they're both on the same page, then like, why does it matter? But if he's like, oh no, I am wanting to get into a serious relationship and have kids, and if she decides that she no longer wants kids and it's past that, I can see that being problematic. But they both seem to be having a fun time, happy, enjoying each other. Maybe he doesn't want kids. Maybe he's ready to settle down and have a life partner that he can enjoy life with.
Yeah, and enjoy her kids on her podcast. So everyone listening, she does have a podcast. I think it's called Let's Be Honest. Good God, is someone knocking? Oh, well, whatever. I think it's called Let's Be Honest. And she just came out with an episode called Launching Montana or Launching Hard Launch Montana. Right. So, and in that episode, she talked about how he's like good with her kids. And that's like a huge turn on for her is that he like plays with her kids and he's playing basketball and he's like texting them. And it's like an experience, I guess, she hasn't gotten with older guys that she's dated.
Yeah. And I think everybody has a different scenario on like how they want to go about introducing a person that they're seeing with their kids, right? Because she had them meet like they're on their first date. But it seems like she just has had people meet her kids. So I think that's very personal on how somebody decides to introduce and how that is important or not, right? Because I know plenty of people that are like, well, I would not introduce somebody I'm dating to my kids until it gets to a certain point.
Yeah. And I think she said that like that situation wasn't ideal, but like you mentioned in the beginning, she has full custody and she had her mom there. So it was like kind of like it wasn't really meant to happen, but it did happen. So I could see how that like that could be hard to like avoid too,
Yeah, and I don't know how old her kids are, but at the same time, like
doing research.
self-care, not only self-care, but being able to show your kids like you're doing what's best for you and your situation, right? I don't know about their history. I don't know what the relationship with her ex-husband was like. I don't know what the relationship with her kids and her ex-husband was like. So maybe they're like super excited and happy to see mom with somebody that makes her happy.
Yeah. Okay, so her kids are Camden is 11, Jackson is 9, and Sailor is 7. So 11, 9, and 7.
Oh,
I feel like
wow.
it's different. They're young, but they're not like our kids young, which I think is a lot more complicated.
Yeah.
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 She had
When
kids
I
young.
She had kids, right? She had kids, yeah. I think she got married young too. She she was saying in the episode of how Camden, her 11-year-old, wants to see her happy and he feels really protective of her. And I feel like I can kind of relate to that. Like when I was younger and I was growing up, my parents are still together, but they had their rough patch. And when they had their rough patch, I remember thinking, like, if this, if they get divorced, I was kind of like okay with it. And I was older. I was probably like 12, 13, but I was like, I would be okay with it because I just want to see them happy. And maybe that was like more mature for my age, but like I remember like thinking very matter of factly, like they seem miserable together. They're not great parents when they're upset. Like I would have been fine with them meeting someone that like made them happy.
Yeah, I agree. I think that as you get older and you see like your parents being unhappy, there definitely comes a point where you're like, maybe they should just not be together. So I totally get that. So like it's super important for my husband and I. Like I always want to show my son what like a good, healthy relationship is so that he has that to go off of when he goes out into the world and starts dating.
Yeah. Right? I know. That is, I don't think well, at least I don't think my parents like necessarily thought of that. But
But it's
but they're people too. I think that's the other thing about growing up and becoming a parent is like suddenly your parents don't become this like godlike figure of like I feel like I kind of like idolize my parents in certain ways, but then you like grow up and you're like, oh, they're human. Oh, they were going through their own stuff. Like
yeah.
they're not going to be perfect.
And I think certain cultures or certain generations, like divorce was just like not an option, or they're still
That
like
too.
not wanting to be alone because you don't know anything different. So it's so different. Whereas our generation is a lot more open to if it doesn't work, I'm not going to force it. I'm going to do what's right for me and my situation and my kids versus staying in something that's unhappy because divorce is just not acceptable.
Yeah, wow, what a good point. Especially since when our parents were younger, there was less like connection. Like my mom mentions it all the time about how like, oh, it's so great. You have Instagram and you can meet all these new people and you can make all these new friends and all these mom groups, right? Like she said there was none of that. So she was truly alone and she was an immigrant and she didn't know anybody. So I can imagine how like, choosing not to be with her life partner would have been really scary, if not like impossible, because
And
she just,
lonely.
yeah, lonely, exactly. And like your husband work, like both our partners work, and solo parenting. Like I feel like I've seen your stories sometimes when you're solo parenting, it's hard. Like imagining solo parenting now full time, like it's like a thing. And I know that's a reality for a lot of women.
Yes. And if you like decide to put yourself in that situation because you're like, okay, I'm just so unhappy, I'm going to go ahead and divorce. But is you obviously weigh the options given your personal situation. Like, what's better? Is it better to have some support or no support if it's just that you're not happy?
Right.
Or
Mm-hmm.
now, if it's something a little bit more than that, such as there's abuse,
Mm-hmm.
obviously, I think the divorce option is way better than staying in something that's not the healthiest.
Yes, yeah, that's different. Which it sounds like I'm curious to hear more. Did you ever watch Kristen's reality show, Very Cavallari?
I don't know if I did. How long ago was that?
Let me see. I didn't, and I kind of want to now.
Me too.
Like because I know Jay Cutler was on it. I remember her saying that he was, ooh, season 1, episode 1. Her first one is called I'm CEO, bitch. Wait, are we allowed? We're allowed to say. I think we're allowed
Yeah.
to. Yeah, it says season 1, I'm CEO, bitch, which is so like her. And I remember her saying in some interview that she only agreed to do Very Cavallari for it to help her business, Uncommon James.
I mean, good for her.
I
I want to do
know.
a show if it helps my business. If there are any producers out there looking for a new show, reach out to me.
Right? I know. I think reality, I love. I mean, you and I have talked about it. We love reality
Oh,
shows.
yes.
Love
Speaking
it.
of reality, Love is Blind comes out
Oh
last
my
week.
God. Oh
Hello.
wait, is the reunion out now or are they launching at a certain time?
I don't know if it's a certain time. I know it's on Wednesdays. I don't get to
Yeah,
watch it until late at night anyway, so
you're like whatever. Yeah, I think it's out. I wonder if it's out already. But yeah, see, okay, what are your predictions for the Love is Blind reunion?
okay. I really hope that AD did not get back with Clay,
That's a hot take. Okay.
although I feel like they could be good together. He definitely needs some therapy and needs to figure his stuff out before that he can be a good person for her. And then, ooh, I really want to know, I wonder if Chelsea got with what's his name? Not Jimmy is the one that she was engaged to. What's the guy that had the mullet?
Trevor,
Yes. I kind of feel like
I
maybe they got together.
I heard rumblings that both Trevor and Jess being the girl that was like, you're going to choke when you see what you missed out on. I heard that Trevor and Jess are confirmed for Perfect Match season 2.
Okay. So
So they are,
they're single.
yeah, I think they're single. All right, I did filming, I think probably wrapped already for that because there were pictures leaked of Jess and Harry Jowser. Did you watch Too Hot to Handle?
No.
Okay. That's such a stupid show. Okay, Too Hot to have you heard of Too Hot to
I feel
Handle?
like I've seen some episodes where like isn't it that they like aren't supposed to kiss or do anything with any of the other
Yeah,
um
they can't have sex. And that's
oh,
apparently that's like really hard for everybody on like the
the show.
villa.
Ugh.
Yeah. But anyway, Harry is from like the first Too Hot to Handle, and he's
Okay.
gorgeous. And now is making a killing on OnlyFans, and a lot of his audience are apparently older ladies and
Ah,
older men. I have so much reality tea up in my brain. It's so
oh my God, I
useless.
need to go to you for you just need to like have a reality TV show magazine website.
Podcast. There's so many. I listen to so many reality show podcasts, but I love talking reality. But anyway, I like your hot take of AD and Clay. I feel like that's a lot of people are mixed on that.
I feel like he definitely was not ready, but man, he missed out and I hope she lets him miss out.
Ooh, I love it. Boss babe energy right there.
But I kind of got what he meant. Like the energy with him and his dad, like I could see why he has some issues.
Yeah, especially I think I appreciated how honest he was throughout the whole process of like, look, I've never seen what a healthy relationship looks like. It's like what you and I were saying about how like you try to demonstrate for your son like what a healthy relationship looks like. So when they go out into the world, they know how to act in relationship. If you've never grew up seeing that, it's not an excuse, but it's definitely like it's hard to like emulate because we all kind of emulate what we see, right? Like on TV or like our friends or if it, like I have a couple friend that I like really love and I look up to and I try to emulate like sometimes when I have like really hard moments I'm like okay, how would she handle this situation? Like would she be a snippy bitch like me or would she be take a deep breath and like choose her words carefully. It's like I don't
Yeah.
know. I get what he was saying.
I think the one thing that I did not like about him from the start, though, was that he was always like, I just don't know if I could ever be in a monogamous relationship because I haven't seen that. So, why are you going on a show to get married if you aren't sure that you could do a monogam, you know what word I'm trying to say?
Yup.
Relationship? Is it just the fame?
Right. I have also heard that for when they cast for Love is Blind, almost always the women are chosen through applications, and the men are almost always like reached out to. So they'll like see a man's Instagram, and like casting will reach out on Instagram and say, "Hey, do you want to try this show?" And a lot of them are like, "Sure." Probably because
They
of
want
the
the drama.
the opportunity for like, I guess, to become a social media influencer.
And yeah, I don't like that if that is true, because then they are really taking women that are like, I want to be with somebody, and then just taking guys that are like, whatever, just want to
Yeah,
make money.
like Clay. Yeah. Yeah, and apparently Trevor, I wonder how they're going to address this in the reunion. Apparently, Trevor had a girlfriend while filming, and she agreed to him to go on the show to help his business. Like they thought it would be a smart business opportunity for him.
Well, I
So
mean, he technically wouldn't really be cheating because he couldn't get physical.
true. Yeah. So like, yeah, I don't know. This cast was messy though. What did you think of Jeremy, Laura, and Sarah Ann?
Hi, everyone. It's your host, Mariella. I wanted to thank you for listening and share some ways to show your continued support. You can rate and review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. Share the show with friends and family. Buy me a coffee to help with the financial cost of running a podcast. Follow me on Instagram at Mama Wears Athleisure. And finally, subscribe to my newsletter. Thank you for listening. Okay, I love Laura. I love how she is just out there, so upfront, honest, and she laid it out. I think Sarah Ann was definitely overstepping her bounds. I
Yeah.
think that she just, she wanted what she wanted. I get it, but and then Jeremy, ugh, ugh, that's all I can say.
Ugh, I
Ugh.
know. Ew. He gave me the ick though from the beginning. Like he just came off too like I was not attracted when I was dating. I was like actually not attracted to guys who were like really confident and cocky. I guess not confident, but
So
like
then you
really
didn't like
cocky.
Matthew?
Oh my God, Matthew was so. I wonder if he's gonna be at reunion.
Oh my God, I really would love to see him. He was, oh, I
He was
know.
an oddball.
Yes. Oh my goodness. Like just having him walk into a room and then he's literally interviewing these women and walks out. I know it's all based on how they edit everything, but like walks out mid-answer.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, or like he was surprised when they were like, "What about you?" And he's like, "What?" I didn't anticipate answering the question. It's like, what a wacko. Like, where did they find this guy?
See, again, how is it that they bring these people on that are clearly nowhere near ready to be in a relationship and much less get married?
Yeah, I forget how old like the cast was, but I feel like for a lot of these love shows, I always wish they would cast like a little older, like
30s?
20. Yeah, yeah, or yeah, right. Like maybe like minimum age 28, 29. Someone who's like done all the dating apps. They're sick of it, like because I didn't wait, how did you meet your husband? I forget. Was it dating apps
Also
too?
a dating app. Yeah, we met on
Yeah.
Hinge.
Yeah, okay, I thought that. Like I don't know what your experience was like, but like it was, I remember I took dating very seriously when I was trying to find my husband. It was like a full-time job. Like I would go, I lived with my parents at the time. Ironic, I know, because I didn't want to date someone that lived with their parents. But I lived with my parents. I remember like my dad was like, "You have another date?" I was like, "Yep." I would line up like 3 or 4 dates in a week, and it was like interviews almost. Like we go out for like coffee or like a drink. It was hard.
So when I went on dating apps, I'd just gotten out of a relationship. So I was just looking for drinks, coffee, ice cream. Let's see what's out there. I haven't dated in a long time. Let me
A little
just check it
fun.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I met my husband when I least expected it. And I was like, oh, this was like not part of the plan. Like,
Yeah. Yeah, I
but
remember. Yeah, I agree with you. But
but
that's
I
how it
feel like,
happens.
yeah, and I do feel like if they had, like these reality shows where they're casting older, where women and men are actually serious, like there would be, I know that they want the drama and there would still be drama, but I feel like it would be less chaotic and let's not just mess with people's minds. Let's like make it real. Like this actually works.
I think they would still get drama because when you really love someone, like things can get heated, especially if there's competition. Like if there was a show where it was my husband and then me versus a couple other gals, I cannot promise it would not have gotten ugly. Like I probably would have been like competition, let's go. Like but I liked Laura's quote where she was telling Jeremy, she was like, go kick rocks with open-toed shoes.
Oh my God.
I was like, that's a good one. Yeah.
I really like her. I think she's one of my favorites. 'Cause I'm like, she's just so real, man. She lays it out.
Yep. I love her. Wait, sorry to go back to Kristen and Montana. Do you think hot or not, Montana?
I would say he's probably like a 7 or 8 out of 10.
Damn, girl. What is your who's your 10? Okay, here we go. I
Ah,
love this combo. Okay, give me your
Channing
10.
Tatum. Channing Tatum. My
So do
my
you like
husband knows. Like Magic Mike all day.
Oh my God, I'm dead. I love that. For me, it used to be Enrique Iglesias of all people.
Really?
Like, I don't know what he looks like now, but like
But
when
isn't he dating younger too, or married to younger to what's her name? She's
what? Let me
the
see.
I think she's younger. She was the Russian tennis girl, Anna, Anna something.
Anna Kournikova?
Yes, I don't know how much
Really?
younger she is than him.
Yeah, you're probably not wrong. But yeah, he was like my like 10 back. Oh, he's still really cute. I'm looking at pictures of him now. Yeah. I mean, my husband's Caucasian, but he does have dark features. I think I just like a guy with like dark features. I think I like dark eyes, dark hair. I like them to be bigger than me. Not bigger, you know what I mean? Like I don't want to be
You don't want to feel like a giant or a
I
big
yeah,
person.
I dated a guy and I'm 5 feet, so I'm like already pretty petite, but I'm not like a skinny girl. Like I'm a kind of a thick girl. Like I can throw my weight around, but like I dated a guy in college and I remember he was super nice and like perfect on paper, but he was so I don't know if
Skinny?
petite, skinny. I hate to, but he was skinny. Like I could see his hip
Narrow.
bones. He was skinnier than me. I just couldn't. I don't know. It made me and now that I'm a mom, I'm really thankful that like my husband is a little bigger because like even when I get bigger, I still feel small. I don't know. This conversation is probably very unpolitically correct, but it's just how I feel.
So is Enrique Iglesias still your 10? Or
You
has it
know,
changed?
I
Because
don't
mine, Channing Tatum has been mine for as long as I can remember.
I don't know. I have to think about that. I feel like I haven't seen a guy that is like I'm like, whoa, he's who I feel like hold on. I have one for you. Leo Woodwall. He was
Ah,
in the Netflix. Okay, he was in White Lotus, the most recent White Lotus, Leo Woodwall. And he's also in a Netflix series One Day. He is beautiful. He's a beautiful man. Like I think if I had like a current like, oh my God, he's so hot. He's just got these like sad boy eyes. He's actually like, I don't know if he's like conventionally attractive in terms of like the perfect features, right? But he's just, I don't know, something about him I thought was so hot.
cute. I don't think that I like the blonde. I'm not into like the lighter hair blonde. I like the dark hair, light eyes.
Dark hair and light eyes, like Megan Fox, like Chelsea from Love is
Yeah.
Blind. I cackled. When that scene happened, I was cackling. I was like, oh my, I was like, you dummy. Like I get
Do,
it.
do you think that's what Jimmy went off of? Was he like, oh,
Yes.
I'm totally gonna pick her? And
Okay.
then, because what he said after they met, didn't he even call her Jess?
Okay, so like imagine Mariella, you are in the pods, okay? You're talking to a couple connections. Imagine, put yourself there, all right? One of your connections goes, so sometimes people say I look like Channing Tatum. Wouldn't you go for it? Wouldn't you just be like, all right,
Yes.
this is my dog right here. This is it. Like I don't you might look a little bit like Channing Tatum. Sign me up.
So what do you think? What do you think about Montana? What is
I
he?
think he's okay. Hold on. I need to see another picture. Montana, Kristen. Let's see what comes up on Google. Because I was watching some of their TikToks, or I'm not on TikTok, their Instagram. I mean, he's hot. He's hot, but too hot for me. Like, I don't date super. Does that make sense? I'm actually kind of intimidated by guys who are like too hot. Is that weird? That probably sounds kind of weird. Like, I would
I
never talk to him in the wild ever. I would like
no, I
just,
I
yeah,
think
go
I would
ahead.
probably just stare. 'Cause, yeah, I mean, but I don't know. I don't find him really that attractive. He's got a nice body.
Maybe it's body, right? Let me see. Do you like guys listening? Do you like how we're like dissecting this man? Do us a favor, go on Google or Instagram or TikTok, look up Montana boys and let us know, is Montana hot? He's conventionally attractive. Like he's got a good smile, like facial symmetry is there, body for sure. But Kristen is also, can we like she looks phenomenal,
She looks great.
right? She is like for three kids. And of course, there's celebrities. Like they can get trainers and like mommy makeovers. Okay, his name. What is his name? What is Montana's name? Is it Mark? Oh, Mark
There's
Estes.
three guys.
Oh, there.
Okay, so I would not be able to keep up. Like there is a lot of drinking in the pictures I'm seeing. So go, Kristen. Keep it up, girl. But you know what? Her kids are older. I'm like, my
That's
son
true.
was up all night last night. I think he's getting his second set of molars, and mama is like hanging on with coffee.
Oh, I got a fussy baby. Yeah, right. I think unfortunately the party lifestyle, and I'm still on antidepressants. Not still on, but I'm on antidepressant. I like how it's antidepressants, but I only take one pill. So is it really just one
An individual,
one
singular.
antidepressed, just one singular? But I can't like drink on it. Like it sucks. I mean, I would rather not have anxiety and I'd rather be a functioning member of society than like drink. But like I can't really drink on it. Like when I drink, I get like really bad hangovers. The one I take was meant for people with substance abuse originally.
Oh,
So
there you go.
yeah, hello. So it takes it like, okay, you know how when you drink, you get that like happy buzz? Like, I don't get that. Like, I just get the sleepiness and then the really bad hangover. So yeah, I
Wow.
couldn't keep up with Montana. Sorry, man.
I mean, if I was 21, I could. You know what?
That
Maybe I'm going to be a little bit bold here. If I didn't have a toddler, I would probably be able to hang until 9 p.m.
you're like maybe 9:24 if we're lucky.
I'm more of like a day drinker kind of person if I'm going to go out and have more than like one or two drinks. Like that's because then I can make it back in time and like not feel hungover the next day.
Me too. I'm way more of a day drinker. That used to be actually my favorite, like getting together for brunch or like bottomless mimosas. Like a good day party was always my favorite. Something about drinking at night is so like miserable too. It's like dark and then you come home and you make mac and cheese and pizza and you feel disgust. Like, you know what I mean? It's like it's different.
Yeah. Yep. Okay, now I'm also looking up at Jay Cutler. I don't know what he looks like. Eh,
Ooh, what do you think? Let's see. I want to look up Jay Color too.
um, I'm gonna go for I wouldn't look twice.
What? Who is? Oh, I got bodybuilder Jay Cutler.
Yeah,
Oh,
I see
okay.
that one. But no, I see
Oh,
Jay Cutler joining inside something. What he's a football player,
ooh.
right? Yeah.
Yeah,
Hmm.
I don't want to like talk like smack, but he's like kind of not cute, actually.
But again, it's not always about the looks. I mean, obviously you need to be like
Right.
physically attracted to somebody in order to like I mean, I think I have to obviously be physically attracted to someone before
Love is
I
not blind.
feel love is not blind. I'm sorry. Love is not blind. Clearly, right?
Okay, so oh yeah, something I wanted to say about Kristen Cavallari and Montana slash Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce. Okay, let me connect the dots here. So I think that people are giving Kristen like trouble, right, for dating this person. But what she said and on her podcast is that there's no competition between her and Montana. Like she talks about her business, she gets photo shoots, and there's no competition versus the other guys that she's dated, like has there has been competition there. And she
which is
just felt,
wild.
I know, right? Like she gave an example, Evie. She gave an example of like of how she said she like came back from a photo shoot and the guy was like, "Oh, well, I have a photo shoot next week." Like instead of like Montana was like, "Let me see all the pictures, show me, blah blah blah, you look so beautiful, whatever," right? And I think this connects the dots to Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift because I feel like she's always dated people who have maybe felt like she was kind of competition with her versus Travis seems like they're in different lanes. They're like in different swim lanes. So I don't know. That's my like hot take. Did that make any sense?
Yeah, no, it did. And I feel like I love like he's all not all about her, but totally brings her. What is it that I'm trying to say? I feel like I've read different things where he like supports her and like cheers her on and isn't on this like route to put her down or belittle her because she's obviously making more than him. She's more popular. The reason people even know about him is because of her, unless maybe you're a Chiefs fan. I don't know. Don't really care much for football. But I think that, she
Same.
seems to have like a pretty good relationship with him.
Yeah, right. They seem like a normal couple. Like not nothing crazy. And that same goes for like I guess Montana Boys and Kristin Cavallari. I didn't know who the Montana Boys were until this whole Kristen thing. So I wonder if like she's bringing in a whole new audience for them.
Yeah, or that's true. That's true. I bet you she is. I want to know how much their TikTok has grown by. I don't follow TikTok. Actually, I don't even understand TikTok. My mind can't wrap my head around keep up. There's too much to keep up with. But right now they have like what, 12.5 million followers? Is that what I just read?
Well, apparently TikTok is going to get banned in the
Oh, I
US.
saw that.
Did you
And then
see that?
I texted that to my friend, like, oh, thank God I don't have to worry about learning
Yes,
another app.
right. Because for like the podcast, haven't you had moments where you're like, maybe I should be on it, or maybe I should post my audiograms on TikTok? Like, and I just like can't be bothered. I cannot
I
be bothered.
can't. I can't. No.
Instagram's enough.
And even then, Instagram is not user friendly.
No, I don't think so either. It's, yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I wonder where, like, do you use threads at all?
No, I think I've maybe used it twice.
Yeah, it's hard to like feel connected to that app. I don't know why. Like it's not like I used to actually really like Twitter back in the day.
I don't use Twitter either, though. So I just also feel like, as one person, I'm a stay-at-home mom first, and then I have my business on the side. So my business is very much what can I do to keep my head above water? And
Mhm.
adding another app, whether it's Twitter or Threads, just seems like a great way to lose all of my hair.
Right. Like exactly. When you're doing like anything extra like a podcast, it's like for me, I know it's like, all right, what's the minimum I can do? Like what's the least like if I'm gonna my baseline is okay, if I can only do one thing and I do this, I'm gonna be happy. That's how like I guess I psychologically do it. And for me, it's just like posting new episodes. So social media for the podcast kind of comes second, unfortunately.
But
I'm
and
so
it's
sorry about
also
baby.
no, you're fine. I've I've had my son on your show too, but this is a mom podcast. That's what we do here. You have a baby, you need to feed them, you do whatever you need to do. What was I going to say? Again, mom brain.
Social media,
Yes.
TikTok, your
Oh, yeah. With social
business.
media, I feel like with social media, we have to pick and choose what is going to help us with growth, right? And so, is that realistically going to be Threads or is that going to be LinkedIn or Twitter, whatever? You have to decide what's going to get you those followers and listeners versus just because this is a next app or I'm just going to add this to my list or I need to have an account on every single platform.
Yeah, I never felt like I've like definitely dabbled with TikTok throughout the years. I just haven't felt like it's easy to build community there
It's
versus
just
like Insta.
videos, right?
Yeah.
I don't have the time to just watch videos. I really wish that there was like a fast forward button because it's sometimes I'm like, I just want to go to the end so I know what the point of this is. And if I can't do that, then I just don't watch it.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. Like some people who say like, "Oh, I spent all day on TikTok," or I scroll TikTok forever. I'm like, "How do you have the time?"
Yeah. Maybe they're not parents.
Right.
Because you have to pick and choose, right? Like for me, it's just Instagram. It's trying to grow my podcast. It's trying to figure out how to get more listeners. It's trying to make sure that I'm not doing too much on that and then ignoring my son. So it's a challenge. I think if I was working and I was just doing this, and then I had somebody watching my son, it'd be totally different. But I watch my son while I do work. And sometimes that looks like my son is eating breakfast and I'm sending out emails. I'm going for a walk to the library and I'm on a call. So I'm multitasking.
Yeah, it's just the real sometimes. Like something that I wish that our family could do, and maybe we'll get there one day. Our family dinners, we just and I kind of grew up with family dinners, so that's why it feels special to me. Like my parents always made it a point to like everyone sit down at the table and have, that traditional family dinner. But for right now, our life it like doesn't look like that. Like usually it's me putting some food in front of Archie, which he will reject. I turn on the TV for him to watch TV. I'm like taking care of Evie. John is like cleaning. He's like cleaning up and putting stuff away from the day or putting away groceries. Like we're always like all doing something. And it's just sort of the nature of life because we're trying to get to bedtime, right? So it's like, okay, because when they're older, I feel like bedtime takes like the amount long that their age is. Like I feel like now for her, bedtime is short. But with the older Archie gets, it's like the more books we add in, like the more steps we do. Like I don't know
Our
if you've felt that.
bath time might be longer. I do wish that
Bath
we had,
time, yeah.
yeah. So one thing that we do is for us, it's very, very important for me for us to sit down and have family meals because I didn't grow up with that. So I remember always eating separately or like, my siblings and I would eat and then my parents would eat. So we always have like the bedtime routine, I feel like is the easiest to get going than starting the day. But making time for a long enough bath time is a challenge because you're like, well, dinner was later than normal and now we only have 10 minutes. And I know he wants to play with his bathtub paint. So we have to compromise. How are we going to do this? Well, he gets a little shorter of a bedtime routine as far as like only one book versus two books.
I can relate with that. And it's refreshing to hear that you didn't grow up with family dinners because I feel like everybody did, but I know my husband did not. So for him also, the concept of family dinner is like foreign and isn't super important to him. Like to him, we can spend quality time as a family in other ways. So I totally get that. But yeah, the bedtime negotiation is like such a thing. And like even yesterday, I was like, all right, lights out, 9 o'clock, like go, go, go. I'm trying to get bedtime to be like earlier because we got into some bad habits. And then Archie was crying. He's like, I want books. And I'm like, yes, but I let you watch some TV. I like put on the TV. I put Evie down. I turned on the TV so I could take a shower. I was like, no, but I let you watch TV. That was the deal. Like, you got to watch
Ugh.
TV, lights out at 9. He's like, I want to do one book. And then daddy came up and was like, let's just do one book. And then one book turned into two books. And all of a sudden it's 9:30 because you feel bad when they're and then the crocodile tears like when the tears the
Oh,
like I want to tear I want and then the tear it's like oh okay I'm giving my child trauma so I guess we'll just do books.
oh, I know. You're like, man, they know I'm weak. They know I'm
They know
weak.
I'm weak. Yeah, I don't know how we got on this
I
topic but
know.
like yeah
This is, well, and my son just woke up.
okay we did it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the conclusion is Kristin Cavallari, you do you, girlfriend. We're cheering you on over here.
Yeah, I love it. I want to see more of this. I want to see how she just rocks this relationship and doesn't care what people say or do.
Yeah, I want to see her workout routine. That's what I really want. Like drop the routine, drop the nutrition. What are you doing? Because her body is slamming.
I'm gonna guess it's called a chef and a personal trainer and hundreds, if not thousands of dollars a month. So I
Okay, thank
definitely
you for
could use.
bringing it back to earth for me. That's good. And she's not breastfeeding, so it's like, yeah, life is different.
Yeah. And she's also sleeping through the night.
What's that like?
I know.
Haven't seen that in years.
Soon, soon, like 5 years down the line.
I look forward to those 5 years down the line.
Well, thank you, Lina, so much for coming on. I'll have all of your links on the show notes for Instagram and your podcast. So make sure that you guys follow Lina for New Mamas podcast. And your Instagram is at
Lina Forrestal.
Yes.
Keeping it easy. Yeah, it was fun chatting with you. I'm happy to come on and talk pop culture, reality, anytime you want.
Yeah, this is fun. I love all the different how I just went from Kristin to we're talking about bedtime routine.
I know. How did we get there? We're such moms. Ugh.
Thank you for listening. Tune in next week for our next episode. You can find us on Instagram for more updates and tips. Be sure to subscribe wherever you listen to your podcasts and give us a review if you like us.